Today I effed up by convincing my boyfriend to do CNC with me, and 5 days later he is still convinced that he's a monster. CNC is a sexual kink, consensual non-consent. I 27F am dating my boyfriend 26M for almost 2 years. We both are experienced people, so we had no problem establishing sexual boundaries and using safe words where it could satisfy both our needs in the multitude of sexual activities that we do: anal, oral, impact play, CBT, felching, squirting. You get the idea. We love to keep things interesting and try out new things every once in a while. A couple of weeks ago, I'd suggested that we take things to a new level and do CNC involving a little bit of edge play, where he's the dominant and I'm the submissive. He was uncomfortable with it because he didn't like the idea of forced sex, but I told him that it's not actually real if both parties are consensual. It's simply acting out a CNC fantasy with a consenting partner. He eventually agreed to do it a couple days ago because he loves to please me, and so we discussed everything from safe words to what defines as crossing the line. And no, I didn't pressure or force him into it. I only asked once. So we picked the time at around 12:15 am, as it is basically the scariest time of the night. I went downstairs to the kitchen, and as I was pouring a glass of water, my boyfriend grabbed me from behind. I threw the water at his face, to which he responded with slapping me across the face, grabbing me again, and holding a knife to my throat. He said, "Do that again, and your kitchen floor will be drowning in blood," after which he threw me down on the floor, tied my hands and feet, during which I struggled the entire time as is my role, kicked me in my arm, and then fucked me really hard. At one point he was holding the knife again to my throat and he accidentally pricked my skin with a blade, but it was fine. Yes, we used an actual knife. My boyfriend has had experience with edge play before, which involves using sharp objects such as knives, so I trusted him to use a real knife instead of a dummy or extremely dull one. I also enjoy pain mixed with pleasure, because the pain creates intense arousal for me. Some of you guys may think it's weird, but some people are into it like myself and some aren't, and that's okay. Next hour or so we cuddled, and I comforted him, but after that he wanted to be alone to collect his thoughts. When I saw him the next morning, he said that he couldn't believe he actually did what he did last night, and that he feels extremely disgusted with himself. Both my right cheek and left arm have bruises from when he slapped and kicked me, and I could see the pain and guilt in his face when he saw me, but I told him that I loved it, and he shouldn't beat himself up over it, because we were both consenting adults doing a little fantasy act. But I wasn't able to convince him that it was just roller play, and he isn't monster. It's been 5 days since then. No words of affirmation, comfort, soft physical touch could help him. We've tried having sex yesterday, but when I winced as he touched my bruised arm, he said he couldn't continue because the memory of him turning into a person capable of causing harm to me, fantasy or not, was too fresh and painful to him. So yeah, I fucked up real bad. All because of what? Some CNC fantasy that I've been trying to fulfill for years, but none of my previous partners wanted to do it. Now I've probably lost an amazing partner and lover because he still can't recover mentally, and it possibly broke him. I'm a fucking idiot. TLDR, I suggested to my boyfriend to act out a CNC fantasy with me, and now no matter how much I comfort and reassure him, he's still pained with guilt. Today I effed up by putting a foot on the toilet seat to try and wipe my ass easier. Okay, so I had to do what many of us have to do either multiple times a day or every other day depending on metabolism. I had to take a shit. This is of course something hard to fuck up, as we have evolved to specifically be amazing at this particular task above a lot of others. This may make you wonder how in the hell someone could screw up something so simple. Well, I did that just fine, as the problem came afterwards, when I was wiping my asshole to get the shit stuck on my ass off of it, as you do. Okay, so this is where the story goes from mundane, "why would you share this?" to "oh god oh fuck." I put one foot on the floor, and for some reason I put the other on the toilet seat to wipe my ass. Now my right foot was on this small shag rug like 12 by 6 inches on the floor. On foot got planted on it. As I started to grab my left cheek to pry open my ass to wipe, the rug began to slip, thus flinging me directly sideways by 90 degrees, while still in midair flinging my head directly onto the edge of the bathtub. After I spent like 3ish seconds trying to comprehend what happened, I then unleashed a blood-curtailing shriek as the pain kicked in, and was in pure agony for like 3 minutes. Eventually I started to feel extremely high from adrenaline. It took me a good while of moaning in pain before the adrenaline kicked in, however. I texted someone about this Looney Tunes type shit and they suspected I might have a concussion. Eventually, after arriving, the person was already on their way. Someone said my pupils weren't dilating. As such, I might have a concussion, and noticing this at 10:30 p.m. when if you have a concussion you have to wait 12 to 24 hours in order to sleep. In other news, I burned my hand on an oven today, got my back torn up from a pool, bashed my pinky toe into a lawn chair while running, sunburned and several other injuries. TLDR, I tried to shit and may have a concussion now. Edit, I was really fucking tired and just went fuck it. As you can tell by me editing this, I did not die. My head hurts still, albeit nowhere near as bad, and I feel a little lightheaded. Edit 2, just realized a lot of this is unintelligible. Please forgive me for this, as while English is my first and only language, I just smashed my head into a bathtub corner at very high speeds, and may have mild brain damage. Edit 3, it's been a while since the last update, figured I would keep everyone informed whom didn't want to read the comments. Someone tested my pupils again, and they said that they were pulsating instead of dilating. Not sure what that means at all, and I'm hoping that no permanent damage was done. I got a mild headache that has been consistently lingering all day, and if I move my head too violently the headache gets worse for a while. If I move my neck in the way I fell it starts to sting. The impact zone feels normal as long as I don't squint or touch it. If I do either it feels like I'm being stabbed. Also I did indeed wipe, to those who were wondering. Edit 4, got my right eye clawed at by a dog that was trying to play so hard you can see the claw marks on either side and feel them on my eyelid. And now that's swollen to hell. Not really on topic, but figured some additional suffering was worth sharing. Today I effed up by opening my nudes at work in SFW. I'm not using my main because I don't want my coworkers to find out, sleuth. It'd be pretty obvious who I am. I was using my work computer to do an enrollment for a healthcare visit. I needed to upload a photo of my ID. Okay, no problem, I thought. I know Google Drive won't let you upload without Wi-Fi, so I went to Google Photos thinking it would have the picture taken from my phone immediately. I was looking for the ID photos when there was a folder. I didn't know what it was. Clicked on it. Curiosity really does kill the cat. All of my nudes from the past 4 years pops up on my screen. The full screen. I gasp no, involuntarily, try to cover it up with my hands, while panic clicking anything else but that. I finally closed just all my tabs. There was no face, and I had deleted those off my phone, but didn't realize they still existed there, on the cloud in Google Photos. I don't think anyone saw, and the pictures were fairly small, but my department director had walked right behind me at that moment. I closed out of it so quick. I don't think he saw, but my anxiety is through the roof. I didn't know those were there. Like I really didn't. I'll keep you posted if I get fired. TLDR, department director may have seen my nudes on my computer by accident. Today I effed up by leaving a tampon in for over 3 weeks. I know this sounds like it belongs in Bad Women's Anatomy, and I would have completely thought the same until like 15 minutes ago, because I didn't know this could even happen, but here I am. TLDR at the bottom. I, 26F, and boyfriend Henry, 26M, have been dating for about 5 months. We have been sexually active throughout the entirety of our relationship, and he spends approximately 6 of the 7 nights a week at my place, which means we do the horizontal boogie on a regular basis. I've also had an IUD since I was 18, well 2 different ones, and plan on continuing to have one until I'm ready to have kids, meaning, since my IUD has always been perfect at its job, we always have unprotected sex. This also means that my periods can be unpredictable and kind of just come and go as they please. I promise this is relevant to the today I effed up. Anyways, about 3 weeks ago Henry and I were having our nightly canoodle when I reminded him that it was my time of the month and had to take my tampon out because we had been getting handsy. Before I reminded him, he replied, "Really?" I didn't feel anything. Yes, we sometimes have sex on my period, sue us. And so I just thought to myself, maybe I took out and forgot or just misremembered that my period had ended. No biggie. Again, my period doesn't have like a set length, so it didn't seem abnormal for me to be certain about when it comes and goes. So we do the dirty, I of course believing that there is in fact no tampon in there, and continue with my life like I didn't. And I guess that's where the ongoing foo began, because I probably should have confirmed that there was nothing in there. Fast forward to 3 weeks later, this morning, I woke up, went to the bathroom, and suddenly felt like something was being pushed out of my vagina, which felt very similar to that of a tampon. And it was. My brain begins to recall why I have a tampon sticking out of my vagina. Did I forget that my period started? Did I forget to take it out last night? When was my last period? And then everything began to make sense. About 2 weeks ago Henry and I were having sex, and I noticed that once I became self-lubricated she did not smell right, and enough so that he even asked me if his dick smelled bad, but I told him I thought it was me. The smell kind of persisted over this time period, but I thought maybe it was just a weird change in hormones or something normal was contributing to it. But no, it was a bundled up stick of cotton absorbing 3 weeks worth of my genital fluids, lube, and my boyfriend's cum. The very mild cramps I had been experiencing, yay, probably because of the cum dump cotton stick. Right now he's sitting next to me, and I know I should tell him that we probably don't have to worry about the smell anymore, but I'm so embarrassed I don't know how to. I also don't know what I should do right now. Like, I know douches aren't healthy for you, but if there was any time someone needed to use one, it would probably be me right now. I also can't decide if I should visit my OBGYN. Maybe I can just ask for a new vagina for Christmas. TLDR, I've been having an abnormal smelling vagina for the past few weeks, but I couldn't figure out why. Until this morning when a 3-week-old tampon fell out that I had forgotten about. Today I effed up by not teaching my kid what a vanity is. Actually happened yesterday, but you get the idea. Yesterday evening my son, 19, comes to me and tells me he has a hangnail. And sure enough he does. One of those nasty fuckers that just goes way down into the corner of where the finger and nail meet. No biggie, I say. We'll just pull it out. Go upstairs and grab the tweezers out of the top drawer in my vanity. Now, it hadn't occurred to me that I might not have taught him what a vanity is. It's not like it comes up in conversation much. After a few minutes, he says from upstairs, "Never mind," and closes his door. That's not like him. So I go upstairs to see what's up. I figure they weren't there. Sometimes my wife moves them, and he got frustrated. But no, they're right where I said they were, in the top drawer of my vanity. Then I see it. The top drawer in my night table is slightly ajar, which it never is. More on that in a second. And then it occurred to me, he went looking in my night table, and not my bathroom vanity. So, here's a foo. My wife and I are kind of kinky, and we keep some of our favorite toys in that drawer for quick access. Leather paddle, flogger, wooden spoon, a couple plugs, a buzzy little guy, some clamps, etc. And he saw all of it. It's true. What has been seen cannot be unseen. Lol. I tried to do a bit of damage control, but he wasn't interested in talking, and didn't have much to say on his way out the door today. TLDR, I never taught my son the difference between a vanity and night table, and he inadvertently found our stash of sex toys while looking for some tweezers. Today I effed up busted out the one chip challenge at my 11-year-old's day party. Today is my son's birthday, and we had a party with 15 kids. He just turned 11. We were doing a bunch of challenges and games. One game we filled a bunch of mini cupcakes with fillings. Some good, some gross. They were having fun and tearing each other to find the gross ones. I remembered I had a pack we one chip challenge chip in the cabinet and broke it out as a joke, threatening to make my son do it. The kids were immediately wanting to try. I got swept up in the excitement and broke the chip into small pieces, warning it would be so bad. Pulling the chip out was the first fuck up. Not having any rational sense to stop was the second. They counted down from 3 and had their small pieces. Immediate pandemonium. Within 2 minutes my son puked on the kitchen floor. Another kid was crying and having a panic attack. My wife was cursing me while handing out cups of milk. Kids were running around screaming. After 5 cups of milk, a different kid vomited milk all over the bathroom floor. A girl vomited in the bathroom toilet twice. After 30 minutes the chaos calmed. My wife is pissed. TLDR, busted out the one chip challenge for a bunch of 11-year-olds and cleaned up so much puke. Update, son has a mild upset stomach, but had a great birthday. From the other parents we reached out to the kids, who had a piece are doing good. My 8-year-old pulled me aside and demanded that I do not bring the hot chip to their birthday. Wife still calls me a dumbus. Update 2, for those that can't Google, the pack we one chip challenge is a stunt food. The world's hottest chip. Today I effed up by eating a lot of white chocolate. Many of you will be familiar with the sugar-free gummy bear effect. Today I learned the white chocolate effect. Quick science lesson. White chocolate includes an emulsifier called lecithin. In high doses this can cause water shit. IDK how to spell it. And I'm literally about to shit myself. Cut me some slack, this is a bad fuck up. So today on my lunch break I decide to treat myself to some white chocolate. Hadn't had some in a while. So off I trot to the break room and sit there munching. I eat about 70% of the bag before I decide I've had enough. Then the cramping started. It was a delake at first. Nothing huge. Probably gas. Then I pass the warning fart. The fart that means back quote next one will be shit. So I run. Well, more speed shuffle. Like I'm doing while typing this. I get to the women's room and there's a queue. As fucking always, when I desperately need the toilet, I manage to get into a cubicle with mere seconds to spare and rip my pants and underwear down and unleash hell. Luckily whoever had used it before me didn't flush, so there was toilet paper there to mask the sounds. Well, all the sounds that weren't me sobbing. I clean up and get back to work and finish out my day, which leads us to now. Me speed shuffling home as the second wave threatens to crash down like the aftershock of a tsunami. TLDR. Ate a whole lot of white chocolate. Found out the hard way one of the ingredients causes violent diarrhea.